Life and Relationships in the 21st Century with your host, Crystal Frank.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Love and War. I'm your host, Dr. Francis, and today we're going to be bringing back What Do Men Want? This week in relationships. We're going to be talking about what men and women want in relationships. As always, you can join us on the Clubhouse app for the after party to really take a deep dive into what men want after this. But for now, we're going to be bringing it to you live and uncut. First, before we jump into the topic, we're going to do like we always do and say what's up to the panel tonight. First out the gate, rocking the Baltimore Ravens, paraphernalia, Showtime. How you doing tonight, sir?
Los Angeles Lakers, don't ever get it twisted. I said last week that we will see who's still standing after this weekend, and I see that we are all alone on this platform because Brother Theo, Washington Football Club, did not do what they had to do, but they gave a valiant effort. I was rooting for them, and I'm glad that the Ravens got this dub. So
Yeah,
let's go.
I know that's what's up. Theo Jones, you got to have a response to that.
No, it was a good game. I thought that we found our new backup quarterback, but it looks like he might be out of there this year because they just found a whole bunch of tweets and things about him supporting some of the things that have been going on in this country Wednesday and stuff. So he might be up out of there, period. But I thought we found a good backup.
What?
Yeah.
I got comments for the insurrection that happened, but those are going to wait. What's up, TW?
Hey, it's a new week. I'm excited. My brother's birthday is tomorrow, so I'm just really hyped. Birthdays are special for me, so I'm just really excited to celebrate him. He'll be 41, y'all.
Okay, birthday shout outs. What's going on? We are back another week. Crazy stuff happening in the Capitol building. I just cannot. Yeah. And I want us to really talk about today what men and women want in relationships. It's very important for us to know that going forward. I think a lot of times people make assumptions about what individuals want in relationships, and they don't really open up that or maintain that line of communication. So I want to talk from the women's perspective. I want us to hit on what we assume that men want, and men, I want you to clarify what you actually want, because there are misconceptions out there, and we just want people to be educated. We want people to be educated. We want people to move in 2020 with the facts. So what do men want? Showtime.
I can't speak on men, but I can tell you what I would like.
Well, I hope you can speak for men.
I can't speak for all men because some men want more sex than I do, and some want less. So I can't speak.
All right. Hey,
what I want.
Keep it 100.
All right. All jokes aside, I think a solid man. There's a difference between a man and a boy. A boy can have a lot of unforeseen circumstances that keep him from being a man.
Mm-hmm.
But a man wants a partner. A man wants a helpmate. A man wants a woman that can motivate him, that can support him, that can enlighten him, that can encourage him. It's hard out here for the black man as well as it is for the black woman. So you want someone that can, compliment you, someone that you can grow with, someone that sees vision. Someone can see a pile of dirt, but they don't even know that you're breaking ground for a new home. So,
well, come on, I love that.
So you have to have someone that matches where you see yourself at. I think people should be equally yoked, but if they're not, because sometimes we're not, equally yoked doesn't mean we both make $150,000. Equally yoked doesn't mean that I have a home and you don't, or I have a Benz and you have a Camry. Those things are superficial and they're nothing more than materialistic things. Equally yoked is how you are spiritually, how you all can connect and grow. We spoke last week about the phone. Someone who matches what you want and where you are in life, you'll talk on the phone with them. You'll communicate differently with them. So I think, we have to be realistic on what we want, but we also have to know where we are in order to receive what we want.
Thea, what do men want?
A motivator, someone to motivate us, someone to actually listen to us, not just hear us, but like listen. And I know it might suck, whatever. Women, sometimes y'all pick up on things that we don't even know. So there's some of that, like, oh, you needed this, you need that, or like we did. Oh, I did. Oh, I didn't know Viva was a better paper towel. That's very something small, but like just something bigger, and just show us new things. But just somebody that's, I mean, like our cheerleader, and like it should be vice versa. But we're talking today about what men want, so I'm just talking to men. But a cheerleader, someone to listen to, someone that has our back, a best friend, and then someone that doesn't use things against us or judge us.
So, TW, I'm going to change my question up a little bit. What do women think men want?
Well, most of the women are really girls, honestly, because their level of maturity. So we'll start there. A lot of times, um, the women that we know of, I'll just say, present themselves in a plastic way because they think that's what men want. But the reality is, men actually want someone who's authentic, like be yourself, because if you put on a facade, a real man is going to know. And honestly, a real man may call you out about it. So yeah, I think a lot of times, women feel like they just have to put on this performance or just try to be somebody that they're not to catch the attention of a man. But when all of that fades, like once the makeup comes off, who do you really look like? What do you really look like? Do you have hair? I mean, I'm just saying, like, different things like that. If you just keep wearing weave, or if you do wear weave, because some men like that, just make sure it's right, like it's well groomed, So I just think a lot of times women will try to dress themselves up as someone that they're not, thinking that's what makes men want them.
Yeah, and that's really important. And one thing that what I learned, it was actually funny, through someone else who was going through a situation. She had gotten married, right? And she married her high school sweetheart, and she had 2 children. She used to be, I mean, skinny, like so skinny when she was in high school. They ended up getting married. She had 2 children. She put on some weight, but she wasn't like, like sloppy or fat or anything. She was just heavier than she had been in high school. And so naturally, that occurs when women have children. And so she ended up thinking that her husband wanted this skinny, pristine, bony thing. So she went, without letting her husband know, went under the knife, got her Showtime. Why are you clapping? No, let me finish my comment first. Went under the knife, got a tummy tuck, got her I guess breasts lifted or pulled back or whatever they do. And so she had lost weight. But then when you get I don't know which one it is, the liposuction or the tummy tuck. I think they're different ones, but whichever one where they shrink the stomach so that they don't eat a lot, that one. Well, anyway, so naturally she started losing more weight because now she's not eating, I guess, the required amount of food. Well, she got so skinny that he like pulled her to the side and was like, first he thought she was cheating on him because he was like, so who you get the surgery for? I didn't been married to you for a daggone near 20 years and you wait 20 years to get the surgery. And you know how she was getting older, so it could have been many things. Well, he was like, I liked you the way you were, and he wanted her to put the weight back on. So she spent over $10,000 to get this surgery. And he was like, I don't want no skinny bag of bones walking across the, the living room. And it got to the point, I guess the situation got to the point where he was going to divorce her. And she put that weight back on. So I said, you sat here and wasted all that money because you thought you didn't have no conversation with your husband to see if that's what he even wanted, if he liked what he saw. You just took it upon yourself and was like, oh, I gained weight. He doesn't like me. So I'm going to get lipo. And what he was saying, because he was always in the gym, so he was like ripped, and so she didn't felt like she was matching his level. He said, no, I want you to be healthy. It had nothing to do with you being skinny. I want you to be healthy, and healthy does not always equal skinny. So Showtime, what's your response to that? Because there are a lot of women out here that assume that men want this skinny Barbie looking chick.
You want the truth?
Yes, I do.
He was inadequate. He was scared because she was getting some more looks that he wasn't used to her getting. He ain't one of that damn thick. He lying. Brother was lying. I hope he watching this show. He lying. He ain't want nobody else looking at her. That's what it was about. She was starting to look good. Because at the end of the day, if I ain't want no skinny woman, you married her when she was skinny. You liked her when she was skinny. You married her that way. You put them babies up in her. Now you want Roseanne. Stop it. Stop it. That's on that topic. That's on him. Hope you hear this, brother. But everyone has a preference. People say to me, oh, you could be shallow, or you don't like this, you don't like that. I said, my preference does not make me shallow. If I don't like a heavier woman, that's my preference. If I don't like a skinny woman, that's my preference. Now, it's just like if I don't like a white woman, or if I don't like a black woman, that's my preference. So at the end of the day, beginning of the day, you can't be with someone that long and not know what they like. We don't know their sexual activity. Was he having sex with her? Did he not make her feel confident about who she was? Did she look at her phone and look at his Instagram or Facebook and saw those Instagram models? Was he out there talking about them or complimenting them? So at the end of the day, beginning of the day, you have to know who you're dealing with. So if you know, it's just like you're knowing your demographic audience. If you
evil eyes out.
If you know that, but my thing is though, if you have to know your preference and you have to know who you're talking to, that's where communication comes in. If you don't communicate with anyone in any relationship, then it won't ever work. But she should have talked to him first though.
Theo, what's your response to that? And what do you think about that whole situation?
Well, first with that situation, I believe in any marriage, before you drop 10 stacks, it needs to be a conversation on what 10 stacks is dropped on. Now we can have separate bank accounts, and you do your thing, I do my thing, and the bills is in one. But 10 stacks needs.
Hello.
But she should have known what he liked. I mean, just say, hey. I mean, unless he said something, or like Showtime said the sex drive went down when she gained weight or something. I believe music said it the best. I love you if you gain a little weight. He said a little weight. He didn't say a lot of weight. He said, I still love you if you gain a little weight. And so I think it sounds like she was on the little weight side. So he still loved her. And he might have found something out about himself. He said, I like a little extra. I haven't had nothing extra in a while. So just like that. But is that mine? Oh, that was computer. Sorry. But
it's Skype call coming in.
Yeah, overall, I just think the communication was broken down in that relationship, and I doubt that was the first time that it's happened. But 10K communication, she would have stayed skinny. Don't gain the weight back. If you lost it, keep
right. You paid 10K, baby. You better see how long that's gonna last. Hey. TW, same. What's your reaction, and what do you think about that whole situation?
I just think the whole situation was messed up. Like, she went behind his back to spend a lot of money for what, right? And so it's a bigger issue. Like, clearly they're not communicating on minor stuff for them not to communicate on a major decision like that. So it's like, what's happening in your marriage that you don't even feel comfortable enough to share your insecurities? That's the first problem. And then for you to just make a decision like that, like a significant decision, and not talk to your spouse about it, it just brings a lot of red flags up to me. Because it's kind of like, how did you all maneuver when you were dating? Like, how did you all maneuver when you got engaged? So it just makes you think of like the foundation. What was that foundation like before y'all walked down the aisle? So it's just a lot of questions that I had, because I just think that communication is critical. And so, especially for a marriage, you know, so for you all to like tiptoe around each other, but you're married to each other, you lay next to each other, but yet you don't want to talk to one another. It makes me think that other things are going on outside of that.
Yeah, and you want to know what? That's the same exact thing that I said. I said, how is it that you go to sleep next to this person every day and you don't know? And even if you don't know, ask. Do you think? I mean, I'm thinking about getting this surgery, not for you, for me. You know, because at the end of the day, I think sometimes, like I was explaining to her, I was like, are you sure you're doing this for him? Because this is surgery. You signed a waiver that if something go wrong, and if you have complications with that, you know, do this for you. Don't do it for nobody else. You should be happy and content with how you present. And if your spouse wants you to enhance or do something and you're okay with that, all right. But that communication was lacking, because I'm quite sure if she had the conversation, then she wouldn't have had to waste that, you know, that money. And then end up putting the weight back on. Like, to me, that was just like crazy. Like, I didn't understand that. So we talked about what men want generally. We talked about what women think men want. Theo, what don't men want?
Uggs. It's like, nah.
Not even the new boots that came.
I just have a personal thing against Uggs.
Yeah, I don't like those things either. That's why they named Ugg, because they Ugg.
We don't want fake, and I understand women. Y'all are gonna dress how y'all want. I think y'all dress and do a lot of things for other women, because men, we don't want them long eyelashes. Like, how do y'all see with those? Like, them joints you can't see. We don't want that. Okay, we don't want that. I don't understand why y'all like shave your eyebrows and draw them back on. That's confusing also. I'm going real shallow things here, but like, we just don't want someone that's fake. We want someone that's real, that we could trust. Just be real from the jump. I mean, if you like wigs, show us all your wigs. Just show them, and we could decide if we like Monday.
Help me pick one out, right? Wear this one on Monday and this one on Tuesday, back.
That if we met you out and you knew you had some grade A Spanx on, you know, just let us know what it looks like without the Spanx. But now we just want a real person, and that's more than just hair and stuff like that. Like, personality wise, be real from the beginning. We kind of know, and if you're not, and we'll either rock with you to get what we want to get, or we'll cut you off in the beginning. But just be real, and that's all we want.
Show. What don't men want?
Men, since Theo stole my answer, we don't want fake. Another thing we don't want gold diggers. We want gold diggers.
Hi, spell it out.
Oh, we don't want
G-O-A-L.
Yes, ma'am. We don't want the GOLDs. Keep that over there. And the reason being is that we want someone that wants us for us, for who we are, what we stand for, not what we can do for them. My father always said, you want a woman that wants you, not a woman that needs you. And once you exceed that need, they may go higher and may need something from someone else. So you want someone that has their own. You want that. I still love the song Miss Independent by Neo, you know, because it speaks volumes on the type of woman that you should have and you should want in your corner. So that's what men really want.
TW, what do women think men don't want?
Child, listen, they wear me out, these conversations. And I think what helps me is because I have a brother and we have these conversations all the time. And basically what Showtime and Theo said is something my brother says all the time. Women just think that men want the opposite. So I'm glad that they both said this. So women, y'all need to like really listen intently and stop doing everything else that you think men want, because it's not true. But it's just almost like, and I see so many, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, marriages fail. You know, you and I know a few personally, because the women in those marriages felt like they had to mother the men that they're with. And I'm like, so now you're not confident in your husband. You know, you don't trust him enough to think that he can make his own decisions. And so it's just problematic. And I think it's because of the need of control.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sorry, women, sorry. But it's just a problem. It's like, are you looking for a spouse? Or are you looking for a son that you can claim a tax write-off for? And you know, most men, like real men, don't want women that mother them. They just don't. And I don't know why a lot of women feel that's what men want.
Yeah, and I have to agree with that.
I do want somebody to hold me like Mama used to hold me. I feel real good, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. You can hold me like Mama held me.
Right. Like
Small spoon. He want to be the small spoon sometimes.
yeah, I know he's talking about. He want to be held like that, like he was still on the milk. He's silly.
We'll be on the milk. Don't you worry about that.
You're a fool. But no, I think that's important what you said, and to just piggyback on what Showtime was saying about the independent women, I think there's also a fine line between so grossly independent that you can't trust your husband or man to provide or support you, because there are some people who are out there. You know, the society has establish what we call a gender role, so to speak, in relationships where men are often viewed as the breadwinner. We understand that role has shifted to women in some cases where women have been known to be independent and can hold their own in the household too. But I know I came across a guy who he was raised and he was taught that the man is the head of the household, and you have some women that were raised and taught that the woman is the head of the household, and then those two get in a relationship and get married and they butt heads because there's no compromise, there's no submissiveness, there's no there's competition. Some people are trying to like compete for that role of maintaining the household. So I feel like in situations where a woman is independent and a man wants the woman to be able to trust him to take the lead, that there has to be a level of trust there so that a woman can allow the man to flourish in his role, and be good with that. But that also doesn't mean, because I've also ran into situations, because like Showtime said, it's everybody has their own preference, where there are some men that don't want their wife to work. And there are some women that are like, look, I'm working because you never know the day that the Lord may A, call you home, or B, if something go down and we got to split ways, I got to be able to maintain my own. And so that's just not an option. So it all goes back again to having that open line of communication, being able to compromise with each other and just understand what each other wants, and not try to get into a permanent relationship or walking down the aisle when you haven't solidified those important things, like what each other needs or wants in a relationship, because it's so important. Relationships fail because people aren't getting fulfilled and they're not getting what they need out of that relationship, and then they go seek other places to fill the void or the lack. So with that, I want to do our final words of advice here, because we are down to the hour. So TW, what are we saying to women tonight on this topic as they go forth in 2021, trying to either get a man or keep their man?
Two things. One, be honest. Be honest with who you are, how you show up, um, what you desire in a man, but also communicate. Because I think a lot of times, as women, we place assumptions as to what our men want and we just fail to ask them. So communicate, because you'd be surprised of men who actually enjoy conversation if they know that you really care. So just be honest and communicate.
Theo Jones, final words tonight, sir.
I'm say the crazy thing, but Tasha just said, just ask us. You might be surprised. Men want different things. Just ask us. We want the same thing. Y'all want to be loved. We want to be loved. Y'all want to be held. We want to be held. Y'all want a hustler. We want someone that's gonna hustle. It's kind of the same thing mostly. Y'all can keep some of the things y'all do.
Right.
But
Like we
but
want to talk to you on the phone for 4 or 5 hours and cuddle for 6 hours.
that's a boring day. But yeah, just ask. Just at the guy you're talking to, and actually ask twice a year because everyone changes. So ask, what do you want? What do you want from me, Wilson? But yeah,
Yeah, what do you want? What do you want?
but yeah, just ask.
What do you want? What do you need?
Oh, and I did want to say a little early, 2 days early, but happy Founders Day to the Reds coming up. Oh yeah, I love me some Reds. Yes, yes.
Thank you, Theo. We appreciate you recognizing J13. Show.
I just want everybody to understand. Like, I mean, everyone said it really, really simple. It's all about communicating. Everyone wants something different. Every man wants something different from the next man, and same is for the sisters. So these what your expectations are and what you want should be laid out long before you have the discussion when it may be too late. You should know what you're walking into. You should accept it, and if you don't, accept, go your separate ways. That's the easiest way of doing it. Men, we're very, very simple. We don't change up. We're not as complex as a woman. We're not gonna say we want this one day and then we'll say, we want this variation of this the next day. We simple. Leave us alone when we watch our sports. Give us some good sex from time to time, and cook us a meal once or twice a week. We simple. We don't want much.
Get over there. Clapping boy. I know that's right. Well, y'all, that's all we have for you tonight. My final words of advice are this. Women, let's stop making assumptions in 2021. Let's go to the root cause of the issue of our assumption. A lot of us were raised in certain environments, so we have an expectation about what their next partner may want or what they may need. But as Showtime and Theo have eloquently stated, most people want the same things, but there are variations. So just ask. Communication is always going to be key to your successful relationships. That's all we have for you tonight. You can do like you always do. Go to www.dearcrissi.com, dear Chrissy, to watch the archive shows and the episodes you missed. You can go to Apple, Spreaker, Anchor, Spotify, Listen Notes to listen to the podcast there. Also, continue to subscribe to the YouTube live channel. If you want to be a guest on the show, hit us up at theloveandwarshow@gmail.com or go to the Love and War podcast on Instagram, like it, and hit us in the DM, and we'll bring you on. For those of you who want to continue the conversation with us over on the Clubhouse app, we will meet you now. We're going to be talking about what men want, what women think men want. So check you out, and we'll see you next time. We're out.